in Scone, we've got all kinds of wonderful people around and buildings and history and atmosphere, and I did mention the play that must be named recently, the Scottish play, Macbeth. Oh gosh, I've done it. And we talked about Scottish witches and Shakespeare's characterisation of the three weird ones, as he called it, huddled around their bubbling cauldron, which has done much to feed our imagination of what a witch is and what she does. Who can forget this chilling incantation?
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is to do?
A deed without your name.
Togas under cold stone, days and nights at 31.
Sweltered venom, sleeping got, boiled out first in the charmed pot.
Eye of newt, toe of frog, wool of bat, tongue of dog.
Adder's fork and blindworm sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing.
Nose of turpin, Tartar's lips, severed in the moon's eclipse.
Fillet of a penny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake.
Liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat and slips of yew.
Oh, chilling, isn't it? Shakespeare's witches. If you're a parent, you'll of course know that you can't escape witches when you read bedtime stories. There are so many witches in kids' books, and the historic part of Scotland that we're in has had its fair share of real witches. Their ancient beliefs persist to this day, so is a real witch anything like the ones we read about, the Shakespeare witches or the witches in those bedtime stories? Let us find out. We say hello to Ffyona Macleish, a Wiccan from Dundee. Hi there. And
Hiya.
also Lorna Parks, who's a midwife and hedge witch.
So Louise.
Sorry, Louise Parks. I beg your pardon. Midwife and hedge witch from Perth. And it is pronounced hedge witch. Okay, and you've got your little baby. What's his name?
This is Will.
Will. Okay, Louise and Will. So, firstly, Ffyona, witching. What is it about?
It's a nature religion. We see the divine everywhere in nature. We love everything that's in nature. We're all part of everything that's in nature.
And people have this image of witches as casting spells.
Yes.
And have you cast any?
Well, every time you make a cup of tea, that's a spell. If you're wishing good thoughts into a friend's cup of tea who's not feeling very good, you're casting a spell.
And Louise, it's positive in that sense, is it, being a witch?
Absolutely. Magic, if you want to describe it, is a little bit like electricity. It can be good, it can be bad. It's the intent of the person who's casting the spell or whatever they're doing.
Are there bad witches around? Are there witches around who are like the witches in Shakespeare?
I wouldn't have said there are ones that are like the witches in Shakespeare, but there are certainly people who maybe don't have the best of intentions.
What is a hedge witch?
It's somebody who works a lot with natural things like herbs, plants, who looks at the weather patterns and animals to be able to look at how things are going round about. And
So we're
possibly
getting a
change
sense
how
of
things may
sort
go.
of the natural world and being a healer and all that, but nothing negative, no zooming around and scaring people at all.
Wiccans believe in the Wiccan Rede, which basically says you can do what you like as long as you don't harm anybody. So that's what we do. We do no harm. We live our life. We try to be as happy as we can be. We try to see happiness in everything, and we would love it if everybody else would just be happy, because life would be so much simpler.
And can anyone be a witch? Is it like being a psychotherapist, or do you need training?
I think anybody can be a witch. You feel a calling inside you that you can be witched.
So it's more like being a Christian than being a priest. I mean, it's more like belonging to a religion than leading a religion.
It's following a faith.
Following
yes.
a faith, right. Is that how you feel, Louise?
Well, each person is their own priest or priestess. They all interact directly with whatever you believe, God, goddess.
This isn't
nature.
what I expect. I thought at least we would have a spell or something, and I'm in no way suggesting you have to sort of do something now, but where does the whole broomstick thing come from if it is all like this, sweetness and light? Where has it come from?
A lot of it is, again, things like Macbeth. It sits in the consciousness of people, and whenever they hear the word witch, that's what they imagine.
You think you've had bad PR?
Absolutely.
It's like the witch trials in Salem, and that witches were perceived to be people that were doing evil, and a lot of the time they were the herb wives, the midwives. They were just people who, I don't know, the person wanted their land. Back then in the 1600s, you could.
Well, I was just, funny enough, watching the movie of The Crucible, the Arthur Miller play, very recently, because I've always been meaning to, so we watched it at home on DVD. And you're right, it's chilling, but that's not so much about witchcraft, that's about people being falsely accused of witches. And of course, if we had been here 500 years ago and you put your hand up, what would they have done to you, actually? Would they have drowned you?
They might have dunked you in a pond to check and see if you were really a witch.
And if you float, then you're a witch.
And you're a witch, and if you didn't float, well, you drowned anyway, so it didn't matter, really.
That's what they call Catch-22, isn't it? Well, thank you. Are you doing any witching this afternoon with the torch, or are you just here as members of the public?
Just here to watch.
Okay. Some lovely bird noises around here. We've got peacocks here. And I don't know what that bird is. Anyone recognise that? That's a peacock. Is it?
No,
Oyster catcher.
It's a what? Come over here, so tell us what it is.
It's an oyster catcher.
Ah, I thought so. Okay, Katie Tunstall.